Alright, let's get real. Ever notice how some people love testing your boundaries? They interrupt, make passive-aggressive remarks, or treat your time and feelings as if they don't matter. And we're supposed to just smile and let it slide? Not today. If you're tired of dealing with people who don't respect you, this video is for you. Today, I'm sharing brutally honest and maybe a bit controversial ways to handle disrespect without losing your cool or sacrificing your self-respect. By the end of this, you'll have every tool you need to make it clear where the line is drawn. Let's dive in. 1. Embrace the silent stare. Let's kick things off with one of my all-time favorite, slightly savage techniques, the silent stare. Now you might be thinking, really? Just staring? Trust me on this one. When someone is rude or disrespectful, nothing throws them off more than a long, calm, unbothered stare. Here's why it works. People who disrespect others are usually looking for a reaction. They want you to stammer, get flustered, or snap back. They want to drag you into their drama and make you feel small. But when you simply look at them, no words, no expressions, suddenly the power dynamic shifts. I get it. This may sound passive-aggressive, but hear me out. There's something deeply unsettling about someone who doesn't react the way they expected. When you maintain a steady, silent stare, you're silently saying, "I'm not playing your game," and you regain control without lifting a finger. In some cases, that silent stare can be the clearest, most powerful no you'll ever give. Let me tell you about a time it worked like magic. I was in a meeting where one guy kept cutting me off, talking over me like he was on a mission to dominate the conversation. I tried interjecting politely, but he wouldn't stop. So finally, I just leaned back in my chair, crossed my arms, and gave him a long, steady stare. No blinking, no expression. Just stared for 5 seconds. Nothing. The tension in the room built, and suddenly, he got uncomfortable. He stumbled over his words and avoided eye contact with me for the rest of the meeting. That silent stare stopped his behavior in its tracks, and after that, he actually started treating me with more respect. This technique isn't just about a power move. It's a reminder to both them and you that you don't owe anyone an emotional reaction. You don't need to prove yourself to people who don't value you. The silent stare is about reclaiming your space, your peace, and your dignity. It's about holding your ground without saying a word. When you embrace the silent stare, you're telling them, and reminding yourself, that you're not letting their disrespect touch you. You're not obligated to entertain negativity, and you're not responsible for making them comfortable. You stand in your own power, unbothered and unapologetically in control. 2. Embrace silence as your answer. Here's a little secret weapon that's often underrated. Silence. When someone disrespects you, sometimes the best response is no response at all. Silence may seem passive, like you're letting them off the hook, but it's far from passive. It's a choice, and sometimes it's the boldest, loudest response you can give. Disrespectful people are often looking for a reaction. They want to provoke you into a fight or justify their behavior. But silence says, "I'm not giving you my energy." By not engaging, you maintain control of the situation. It's a quiet, subtle reminder that they don't deserve your time or words. I remember once dealing with someone who liked making little snide remarks disguised as jokes, clearly trying to get under my skin. One day they made a comment about my work, trying to provoke a reaction. Normally I'd have explained myself or fired back, but this time I simply raised an eyebrow and said nothing. The silence was deafening. It forced them to sit with their own words. They mumbled, looked away, and moved on. That was the last time they ever tried that with me. Silence is a powerful tool. It's not about being passive. It's about choosing to protect your peace. When you choose silence, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, I value my peace more than your opinion of me. It's empowering and revolutionary. By refusing to explain yourself to people who don't respect you, you're reclaiming your energy and living on your terms. Third, stop explaining your choices. Here's a big one. Stop explaining yourself. How many times have you made a decision for yourself only to have someone immediately question it? Why did you do that? Why didn't you go to that event? People feel entitled to an explanation for everything. But the truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. When people question your choices, it's usually not out of genuine curiosity. They're trying to judge or undermine you. They want you to second-guess yourself so they can feel better about their own decisions. But when you stop explaining yourself, you're taking back your autonomy. You're telling them, my life is not up for debate. People often feel entitled to an explanation because your decision challenges their worldview. Maybe you're taking risks they're too scared to take, or stepping out of their comfort zone. But just because they're uncomfortable doesn't mean you have to reassure them. Your life isn't a public service announcement. You don't need to justify your choices to anyone. I remember when I decided to switch careers. It was a big risk, and people couldn't understand why I'd leave a stable job. At first, I tried to explain, but the more I explained, the more they questioned me. Eventually, I just started responding with, because I wanted to. No explanations, just a simple answer. And you know what? They stopped asking. I realized that I didn't owe anyone an explanation for the life I was choosing to live. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop wasting energy on justifying your decisions. You start living authentically, without the weight of others' expectations. Your decisions are valid because you made them. The more you stop explaining, the more confident you'll become in your own choices. 4. Keep your distance. Let's get real for a second. Sometimes the best way to handle disrespect is to simply keep your distance. I know, it might sound harsh, but not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. If someone consistently disrespects you, one of the healthiest things you can do is give yourself some space from them. This doesn't mean you hate them. It just means you respect yourself enough to protect your energy. Keeping your distance isn't about being cold. It's about choosing who gets access to your time and emotional energy. Not everyone deserves that access. Distance gives you clarity. It helps you see things for what they are, without the emotional fog of manipulation or guilt. You don't owe anyone your time if they're making you feel small or draining your energy. I had a friend who would constantly criticize every decision I made. My career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first I brushed it off, but over time those comments started to get under my skin. I realized I was walking on eggshells, constantly preparing for the next criticism. So I decided to limit my time with them. Instead of meeting up every week, I saw them once a month. And guess what? I felt lighter. I felt freer. Distancing myself gave me the clarity to see that I deserved better friends. Keeping your distance isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. You're not obligated to keep disrespectful people in your orbit. It's about protecting your mental health, preserving your peace, and making room for people who respect and uplift you. 5. Hold your head high. Finally, let's talk about one of the most classic and effective methods, holding your head high. When someone disrespects you, they want to make you feel small. They want you to shrink, to doubt yourself. But when you stand tall and hold your head high, you're silently saying, I know exactly who I am, and nothing you say will make me feel less. Here's the thing. Confidence makes people uncomfortable, especially people who thrive on disrespect. When you hold your head high, you show them they have no power over you. You're unbreakable, and they don't know how to handle it. When I started standing tall, smiling, and ignoring little jabs from disrespectful people, their power over me faded. People who disrespect you often can't handle seeing you confident. It messes with their narrative that they're above you. But standing tall isn't about them. It's about you. It's about owning your worth and walking through life as if you don't need anyone else's validation. Self-worth isn't something you earn from others. It's something you claim for yourself.